Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, December 29th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am responsible to my responsibilities. And when I first said that in my head, I was like, huh? What? But it's the thing is that you get to be the authority over your response to whatever. And so often the world will push those responsibilities on. But again, this is your jurisdiction. This is your authority. So that is the energy mantra energy. And as I said that, I realized I did not pull the card. So let's see what we pull today for Mercury retrograde. Today we have Mercury going retrograde for the next few weeks. It's always about 3.5 weeks Mercury retrograde process. We are going to have Mercury in retrograde until January 18th, and it is going hand in hand with Mars finishing up its retrograde. Mars will be retrograde until the 12th of January, and Mars being in the sign of Gemini is kind of echoing some Mercury retrograde energies. So we'll call this a double retrograde. This energy is so fascinating to me. Obviously, if you look in the world right now, anywhere, you are seeing some of these Mercury shenanigans that are happening. Everything with the airlines. I have a sneeze coming in. Hold on. Okay. Everything that's happening with the airlines. And I feel like a lot of this is happening to bring our attention to where our structures and rules and, I don't know, corporations are not actually supporting us as individuals so much as they're trying to support themselves and that whole capitalism game. And I'm not raining on capitalism's parade today, but these structures aren't working and they are not looking out for us. And so I think that we're going to see more of this happening over the next little bit as Pluto finishes up in Capricorn. Pluto going through and being like, where can I collie these structures that have misplaced their responsibility? Now, what is also so interesting about this energy to me today is Mercury is going retrograde conjunct Venus. We have Venus in Capricorn at 24 degrees Capricorn, and that is where Mercury is going retrograde. And I had a calling to go look at the Sabian symbol, and I laughed when I saw the Sabian symbol. So the Sabian symbol for this Mercury retrograde degree, this degree that Mercury is stationing at and then going retrograde, is a woman entering a convent. Does that pique your interest?
I guess so.
Okay. It piqued mine. It piqued mine. I have memories of being in a convent. I have memories of being a nun. In fact, when I was a little girl, I was like, I want to be a nun to my mom, because I thought the nuns at my preschool were so cool because they played the guitar, and I thought that was awesome that they played the guitar and sang.
What church did you go to where they played guitar?
It was a preschool. It wasn't a church. It was Happy House, and it was happy.
Well, that's
anyway.
Totally different than the New York Catholic.
Okay, shenanigans.
Okay.
I wanted to be a nun for a minute because of the guitar, and then I realized that nuns didn't get to wear what they want or have long hair in this case, or play with boys. So I changed my mind very fast about that. But it's interesting to me just to get past all the shenanigans is that we're in the midst of this Mars retrograde. And here we have Mercury going retrograde with Venus. And I think so many of our imbalances, so many of these structural issues in the world, so much of this paradigm is the imbalance in our worlds, in ourselves, in our lives, between the yin and the yang energies. And I have a friend who is brilliant. I'm talking about you, Sarah. And I know several Sarahs are peeking their ears right now. But Sarah points out a lot of times where things that we look down upon in this world are actually a part of the feminine energy, including breakdowns that we go through. And so, to me, with this Mercury retrograde happening, conjunct Venus in Capricorn, it's a call through this retrograde energy to bring your attention to your inner structure. That's part of the Capricorn energy. Your inner structure, and where you dismiss the feminine, where you have put her in a convent, tucked that energy away. And I think that this is really beautiful as Mars is going through a little bit of this dark night of the soul, Inanna, deep process of this retrograde. Venus is like, okay, let me tune in and turn in a little bit as well. Even though this is Mercury, that's the kind of energy that I was getting from this. Now, that's not going to negate the Mercury shenanigans, right? The technology snafus, communication snafus, all of that. That's all going to be there. But if you were leaning into the yin, how would you deal with these energies instead of following the usual social protocols? And I think that's part of this Mercury retrograde as well. Moving away from the usual social protocols and instead practicing personal responsibility from personal authority, and hopefully some new sense of balance between the wild yin and the free yang energy within you. So that's my Mercury retrograde spiel. Besides this energy, I think we might get some beautiful insights too around yin energy with Mercury and Venus. But again, notice, is this coming from, or are you moving through it with patriarchal understanding? Or can you look at it through, going back to it, personal responsibility, and let yourself respond in a compassionate way and in a nurturing way, instead of the usual pull up your bootstraps way. All right, so let's look at the rest now. Moon into Aries. Oof, that's going to add some impatience to the Mercury shenanigans, right? That's pretty intense. And that is going to be squaring the sun in Capricorn. Oof, between Capricorn and Aries energy today, you probably will not find yourself being very patient, frustrated if things are not going your way. Watch out for rage on the roads in and through this energy. But watch your own impatience and make sure that you take time to breathe and settle into your body in this energy. The moon and Mars are also connecting. So I'm definitely feeling a lot of impatience. And this impatience may be due to some of that old conditioning of like, can we get there already? Now it's funny because when I picked up the cards, you may have seen the ripeness card was there. And here we are, the ripeness card. So we are ready and ripe for these lessons. But just as fruit drops on its own time, remember that in the process, and remember that in keeping patience. Reminding myself as well. We have the understanding card. Practice understanding. That's the softness. That's the yin. That's the compassion that we're going to need through this process in ourselves and in the world, because it takes a lot of compassion and patience to birth a new world. Clinging to the past, deep energies coming up, moving through. Watch for where you are holding on to things that are keeping you stuck in this old paradigm instead of moving into that understanding. And the final card that we have today is the traveling card in reverse. If you are traveling today, good luck. This is not saying that you should not be traveling, But bring a book with you, bring your patience, breathe, and trust that what is the right word? I'm already struggling with words. Mercury hasn't gone retrograde, but I'm struggling. Your sacrifice, your patience is helping bring about these changes. So, you can book a reading. 2023 year ahead readings are available. You can buy gift certificates. You can always buy timed readings. Email me for any of that. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.